For the next 3 years, Omni La Costa Resort and Spa in Carlsbad, California will play host to the NCAA Women's Division I Championships, as well as the men, hosted by the University of Texas. The Women's Division I Championships in their 42nd year. 30 teams arrived here in Carlsbad, California, and we're down to the final two. A national championship is on the line. All Pac-12 as the Stanford Cardinal will take on the UCLA Bruins. Stanford won the national championship 2 years ago as the #1 seed, trying to do it again. Gets off to a nice start here. Stanford knows that UCLA yesterday in the quarters and semis won the first 3 matches out. So Kelly Sue jumps out to the lead there, 2 up through the opening 2 holes. Sophomore Megha Ghani of Stanford rolls in this birdie putt on the opening hole to go 1 up in her match. So the first 3 matches out, and Stanford up in each of those 3 matches. Sadie Engelman of Stanford had this putt for par, a little aggressive with her birdie putt, and tries to coax it down the hill. It stays out to the right, so she loses the hole to Zoe Campos of UCLA. Campos 1 up in that match with a national championship hanging in the balance. First time that UCLA has made it to the match play championship match. Their last NCAA title came in 2011. Stanford won the national championship 2 years ago at Grayhawk. Also won it in 2015 at Concession, and trying to add another title. UCLA, on the other hand, has won 4 national championships. Bob Popple, along with Karen Stupples, along with Steve Burkowski, Amelia Miliaccio, who won a national championship last year for Wake Forest. Julia Johnson, a national championship for Ole Miss in 2021 out on the golf course, and Amy Rogers handling our interviews. We saw Natalie Vaux's birdie attempt miss, and now let's take you over to the 3rd and welcome in Steve Burkowski.
Good afternoon, Bob. We pick up the 2nd match. Kelly Sue from Stanford 2 up early against Megan Royal from UCLA, and Julia Johnson down there watching.
Hello, Burko. Megan Royal losing the first 2 holes. Would love to get this par up and down. Had a little double cross off the tee and hit a really nice chip to get it here just below the hole. About 5 feet left for her par uphill.
Good putt there by Megan. Unfamiliar territory. She hasn't trailed since the 14th hole of the quarterfinal matches yesterday morning. And Bob, you referenced that they've gotten off to quick starts in those first 3 matches. And Karen, to build momentum, it starts right at the top.
It does, and that's really what stood UCLA in good stead so far this week, is that by getting off to such a fast start, it just takes the pressure off of everybody else.
Kelly Sue, short one to tie the hole. Kelly continues her fine play from Tuesday, hanging on to that early 2-up lead.
Remains 2 up.
Take you over to the par 4 4th. Amelia Miliaccio with this match of Paula Martin San Pedro and UCLA's Caroline Canales.
Paula won the first hole, and I've only seen a couple of shots from this group, but Paula San Pedro has not missed a shot. She's just hit 2 great shots in the wrong spots and not really expected it. On the 2nd hole, she had a beautiful iron shot, landed over the green, ended up making a 12-footer for bogey to tie the hole, so she kept momentum going her way. And on this hole, she hit it less than driver, but the fairway is firming up, so her ball ended up rolling into the fairway bunker, which is why she could only get it to this point, just short of the green. Probably the best shot she could have hit from the fairway bunker, because her ball was pretty close to the lip. This is going to be a tricky speed putt, putting uphill the whole way, and she has a mound just in front of the green, just in front of the flag she needs to navigate. and everything's going to swing to her left. So it's all about matching line and speed.
That is really well judged there. So she'll have that left for her par. Take you over to the first, and Rachel Heck has this putt for birdie. She'll have 2 putts to win the hole. UCLA has struggled mightily on this opening hole, and Heck needed just 1 to go 1 up in her match. Heck won the individual title in 2021 at Grayhawk. I'll take you back over to the fourth, and I mean, when I was out there earlier, anything left of the flag long, it's a steep slope. I think we could see it too today, but Canales hit it right of the flag, didn't she?
Canales ended up to the right of the flag. She was in the left-hand rough, so a little bit of unpredictability that happens from the rough. Look at this swinger that her ball's about to go down.
2 excellent putts by both players, and they'll have a chance to save their pars. Back to the third.
Natalie Vo on the tee. Megan Gane already over the green with her tee shot. Vo 1 down early. Perhaps an opening here, Karen.
There is, and the ideal shot is a little draw that's going to land sort of on the right half of the green, because the slope will kick it down towards the hole.
Safe.
Yeah, need an extra half a club, but understandably, if Gane was over the green.
Now at the fourth, Paula Martin San Pedro for her par. Excellent 2 putt there, and now Canales has to match her.
These were just outside of the range where you would give your opponent the putt. That's all the match play mind games you can play. On the second hole, Paula conceded a bogey putt to Canales that was about 2.5 feet, and on the last hole, third, Canales had a 3.5 footer that she made, but had Paula mark her putt, who was about 2 feet. And after Canales made her putt, she picked up Paula's mark and said, all right, we can go to the next tee.
Stanford University.
Both players with
UCLA
excellent 2 putts at the
Stanford
fourth
University remains 1 up.
to tie the hole. So Stanford off to a quick start, up in 4 of the 5 matches. A national title hanging in the balance today in Carlsbad, California.
We are back at 3. Second shot for Megan Gane. Megan hit it over the green with her tee shot. Vo's going to have a birdie putt.
I'll tell you, that worked out really well. It's not easy with this Bermuda grass around the greens to get good contact, and she used a lot of imagination to land that short and get that to trickle on.
Take you over to the fourth, match number 2. Kelly Sue and Megan Royal of UCLA. Julia, who's away?
It'll be Kelly first. She played a smart play off the tee here, going with 3 wood, leaving herself just 134 in. Megan elected to go with driver, and it's a little bit of a precarious situation, even though she's closer to the green. So I think this is a really smart play by Kelly. 2 up, not looking to get too aggressive here, but still giving herself a good look into this green.
Stanford won the regional by 18 shots over Duke. Rachel Heck won the individual coming out of Washington. to 2 up in this match.
Starting this on the left side of the green. Pretty big first bounce. Getting it to that back portion. Good shot there.
Or if she carried it just a little further, could have fed right down to the hole. Instead, it misses that ridge. And that'll be a tough 2-putt. Megan Royal of UCLA next to play.
Yeah, just 76 yards here, but going with the driver, she's found herself in a little sandy patch over here, not in the fairway, and kind of short-sided herself with that bunker in front of her as well. So she'll need to have really good contact here. Make sure you get it up and over that bunker.
Royal, a sophomore from right here in Carlsbad, California, sociology major. And again, stays up.
That same shot right of the flag, left of the flag, is going to bounce down.
Yeah. I was shocked this morning at how quickly it came down.
Over at 3, Natalie Vo has this for par. She raced her birdie effort a good 5-6 feet past the hole, but able to convert.
Over at the second, par 5, Rachel Heck playing her second shot. And she knocks it on. Meanwhile, Vajegas laid up at the second. Ahead to the 5th in our first look at this hole.
Paula Martin San Pedro, second from the thick stuff.
That's such an awkward lie when the ball's right up against the collar of some other grass. Good effort there from San Pedro trying to advance that.
Just about all she could do from there, Karen.
Yes, it could leave an awkward pitch up because of the way the green is situated with some banks.
Over at 3 now, Mega Gane, short one for par, tie the hole. She's got it. Remains 1 up in the match.
UCLA 3. Stanford University remains 1 up.
So we see where the ball ended up for Paula Martin San Pedro. Short of the green, well short of the hole location, so maybe an opening here for Caroline Canales.
Just 86 yards for Canales, and the players can only really see the first 10 paces of the green, but there's about 20 paces more to the flag. Pretty large slope on the left that players can use to try and hold the ball and work it towards the flag. This is a firm green.
Well played.
So after a rocky start for UCLA, trying to kind of battle back, and Karen, we saw them yesterday in the quarters and semis get off to fast, big starts. Quite the opposite today, but how do you settle down the nerves at this point?
Well, I think they all know what they're playing for. I think that both coaches have basically said, you know, let's be calm about it. Let's go out there and try and just play our game. But ultimately, when you're standing on the tee, you have the flyover from the military, you have the national anthem playing. You know you're there for your team and your teammates. And it just means more because you're doing it for everybody else. You're not just doing it for yourself. So when you finally get through those first 3 holes, that's when you'll start to settle down. Once you get into the flow of the game. The unfortunate thing for UCLA is by doing so, they're a few back already. They're a few down in the matches. But if you're Stanford, this is a dream start.
What about the golf course and the setup today? Just kind of going around earlier and taking a look at things. There are some favorable and some opportunities, and then there's some areas where par is going to be a really good score.
It really is, and it's the same as what we've seen throughout the course of this week. Some of those earlier holes, they're in some little hollows that you can use the slopes around the greens to get closer to those locations. But as you start to turn onto that back 9, it gets tougher and tougher as the hole locations move forward.
Back out to the action at 5. Martin San Pedro, her third.
This is a very tricky shot to Drudge. She's going to try to use that left bank. using it well, but that's just going to roll way too far. There was really nothing more she could do. Even if she played it out to the right side, the ball still would have rolled to the same distance.
Let's go back to the green at 4.
Megan Royal has this putt for par.
And it was a pretty good putt from off the green, Bob, to get it to this point. Straight downhill, how to play it well out to her right. Now she has a little left to righter here, just a touch putt.
And she pours that in. Kelly Sue has a par putt, and it's been conceded, so they tie the hole. And Sue remains 2 up through 4.
Remains 2 up.
Make her way back to the 5th. Paula Martin San Pedro hasn't lost her turn as she gets ready for her 4th.
This freshman is really good with her putter. She's an incredible iron player. She hits the ball very straight. And rarely do you see a combination of someone who's a really good ball striker and good with the flat stick. San Pedro's already saved herself on the 2nd hole. She made a 12-footer for bogey. This would be a great par save.
Yeah, those are the sentiments Ann Walker, the Stanford head coach, shared with me this morning. That great ball flight, putts it well. The first player she's ever had on her team from Spain, and she has not disappointed.
Rachel Heck has 2 putts to win the hole. This for eagle. And she cozies that up nicely. So Heck struggled in the afternoon a little bit yesterday in the semifinals, off to a blistering start.
UCLA 5.
Through her opening 2 holes.
Opportunity here for Canales at the 5th.
Just 2 putts for Canales to win this hole. So she's just going to cozy this one down there, play a little more break than she needs. It's going to move to her right.
Mission accomplished. Canales wins the 5th. That opening match tied up as we are underway. UCLA and Stanford battling out here in Carlsbad, California. A national championship on the line.
Coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Golf Championships is presented by AT&T. A pleasure it is to be at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, the North Course, year 1 for the women's and men's NCAA Division I Championships, hosted by the University of Texas. This is the 42nd edition of the Women's Division I Championships. Mega Gane over at the 4th, playing her 2nd. Nicely done there for Mega Gane.
Just clinging on to that top level.
Now over at the 3rd, Rachel Heck getting ready to go. 2 up early in this one. We'll check out the play by Heck with our Top Tracer technology presented by AT&T. She's come out firing today.
I'll tell you what, somebody has something good for breakfast there, because she's definitely making it work today.
UCLA's Natalie Vo, her 2nd into 4. Yesterday, Natalie defeated Zoe Slaughter of Texas A&M in her quarterfinal match.
Here's the bank.
Come on, Ralph.
Here we go. This is what we were talking about.
Natalie Vo will have a tap in for birdie. I told you when I was out there today, I said, I think we might see it too. Monica Award presented by Stiefel, and it was announced right here on our air yesterday. Ingrid Lindblad of LSU winds up winning the 2024 award. Ingrid, outstanding career at LSU. 15 collegiate wins. She's ranked the #1 amateur in the world, and well-deserving honor after Stanford had secured the last 3, with Rose Zhang winning the last 2 and Rachel Heck the year before. But kudos to Ingrid Lindblad on a well-deserved honor.
Back out to the action at the 5th. Second match. Kelly Sue from Stanford. Megan Royal from UCLA. Megan 2 down early to Kelly Sue.
She is, and Kelly doesn't hit the ball as far as Megan does, so she will be going first quite a bit today, and that's a strategy maybe that might benefit her in match play. Go first, put some pressure on. She only has 116 into this hole, wind moving left to right. There's a slope on the left side of this green as well that will kick the ball out to the right if she gets this moving left of the pin. Going up that left side, needs a kick. Oh, and a big one.
Now on the green, but a long way away. Megan Royal up next, perhaps an opening, and according to Bushnell, she's got 99 yards all the way back to that hole.
She can learn a little bit there, Burko, off of what Kelly's ball did. She knows there's that slope on the left. You don't want it to kick too much out to the right and not give yourself a decent look at birdie here.
Ooh, big hop.
Can't miss it there, Karen.
No, and I mean, that was a bit unnecessary. She's wide open, hole location. She'd positioned her tee shot perfectly for it.
So suddenly Megagane has to make this just to tie the hole, as Vo's birdie was conceded, and that match is now tied through the opening 4. Each team in search of a national championship today. Can UCLA pull off the upset against the top seed Stanford Cardinal?
We are back at the 5th. Long birdie putt here for Kelly Sue.
Yeah, really about judging the speed well here. She has to play it left. Make sure she gets it back there.
All in all, pretty good effort, Karen.
It is, and you know, because these greens aren't easy. There's a lot of undulation on them. There's a lot of upslope, downslope, side slopes, and getting the speed sometimes doesn't come naturally.
Back at the 3rd, Kate Pajagas for par to tie the hole. Rachel Heck hit a good tee shot, unable to convert the birdie.
UCLA 3, Stanford University remains 2 up.
Still early, but if it gets to that anchor match late, if you're Stanford, you have to love the prospects of Rachel Heck there to try to see it through. How about that play by Megan Royal from over the green at 5?
That was good. Good aggressive play, playing back uphill.
First look at the par 5-6. Martine San Pedro's 3rd shot. She'll have an uphill putt for birdie.
Work to do for Kelly Sue here at the 5th.
Like you said, pretty good lag to get it to this point. Making a few of these early in your match can really instill confidence in that putter. Anything outside of 5 feet for par is a good putt in these circumstances today.
Rock solid.
Amelia, what does Caroline Canales have left?
104 yards for Canales. This ball's flighted more than San Pedro. Oh, Karen, that's going to stay up on that slope.
Yeah, he's going to leave a quick one coming back down from there.
And back at 5 with Megan Royal to stay 2 down.
Just trying to play this slightly outside left.
Couple of good pars there for Royal and Sue.
University 4, UCLA 4, Stanford remains 2 up.
Take you over to the 4th, and Sadie Engelman of Stanford drove it in trouble, so she'll have a putt for par. Zoe Campos of UCLA will have a putt for birdie.
And you think about Sadie, part of that 2022 national championship team. Ann Walker, the head coach at Stanford, sharing with me this morning. She's the player that does whatever is asked of her. Maybe doesn't get the headlines, the accolades, the moments pop up periodically like we saw yesterday in the quarterfinals over Anna Davis. Just described as a steady Eddie, the journeyman of this team. Just happy to be a part of it. And you need those kinds of players when you've had Rose Zhang and Rachel Heck that, you know, gets the headlines.
Well, and she knows her role and she knows her place in the team, and she's very comfortable with who she is as well, and that makes a big difference. And that, you know, to Ann Walker's credit, I don't think that she would have anybody on her team that wouldn't be team first.
This will be a quick putt for Campos. 2 putts to win the hole and to go 2 up in this match. I don't know if she can hit it, Karen, any softer. I mean, being out there earlier and hitting some putts from there, it's impossible to slow it down. UCLA's road to the finals. They were 4th in the Las Vegas regional, won by Arkansas. Finished 12 shots back. That was the regional that 17th team in the country, Arizona, did not get through on. Zoe Campos shared the medalist honors at 6 under par with Kajal Mistry of Arkansas at 6 under.
It's been a quiet NCAA championships really for Zoe.
Does make the par and wins the hole. So it goes 2 up. Now back over at the 6th, and Amelia, if she's not careful with this, it could go all the way to the front of the green.
If she just pushes it and doesn't play enough break, there's a slope that will work it towards the front. Exactly, but she's played this one nicely.
It's as good as you can get right there without going in.
This UCLA squad has clapped for just about everything Caroline has done. They're doing their part in trying to get her to win this match.
Paula Martin San Pedro still has a birdie putt. And that's always the cool part of, you know, the championship Wednesday. A lot of the men's teams are on property. As I was out on the golf course this morning, saw some of the teams walking the golf course just to kind of take it in.
And Bob, there was a bus coming up from UCLA leaving this morning, faculty, some administration, to be a part of what could be a special day for the Bruins.
San Pedro just on the bottom part of this tier. It's going to be a little slower.
So they'll tie the hole and remain tied for the match. Each with pars at the par 5-6. National title on the line. Stanford squaring off against UCLA. Match number 5 has reached the 4th hole. Rachel Heck 2 up in her match for Stanford, playing her 2nd into 4.
Maybe she knew she was going to go.
This is going to be really good.
Yep, she's wise to that slope.
Well, we won't get a 2 from Heck, but she'll have a tap in for birdie. Let's go ahead to the 5th.
Natalie Vo has this for bogey. Mega Gane has a par putt if needed. And I'm thinking it won't be needed, as you see the mark there. Mega maybe 10, 12 feet underneath the hole. Well, Natalie never looked at her. Mega was slow playing it of, am I really going to have to putt this? When you look at the sophomore from Homedale, New Jersey, you mentioned it yesterday, Karen, sort of burst on the scene at the U.S. Women's Open a few years ago. At Olympic, But it hasn't always been a straight line. The game humbles you a little bit. But Ann Walker, the coach for the Cardinals, saying she's matured. She continues to grow. Very thoughtful. She'll ask questions, process it, and then implement it into her game.
Which is impressive. And there were a couple of shots yesterday that really stood out to me about her game. They were on the par threes, the 8th and the 16th.
UCLA 6, Stanford University is 1 up.
Only player to be able to keep it on those greens.
So Gane converts, 1 up in the match against Vo.
Villegas now trying to match Heck with her second into 4.
Nope.
So she'll have to make that to tie the hole. Coverage of the NCAA Division I Men's Golf Championships begins Monday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific here on Golf Channel. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. This will be the 9th year consecutively that the same venue will host both the women's and men's NCAA championships. Started at Concession and Eugene Country Club, Rich Harvest Farms, Karsten Creek. Wonderful stop at the Blessings in Arkansas in the last 3 years at Greyhawk. Villegas for her birdie. And she has not conceded Heck's birdie putt. I think now she has. So Rachel Heck goes 3 up through the opening 4 holes of that anchor match.
Stanford University 3, UCLA 4.
And Rachel Heck has really just come out on fire. I mean, those 3 victories were down to 3 birdies.
Correct. She's not winning them with
No.
par or even bogey. She's making birdies right out of the gate, kind of like Caroline Canales did yesterday in the semifinals for UCLA. She birdied the first 3 holes going out and never looked back. Look at the par 5 6th. Kelly Sue and Megan Royal will have 3rd shots into this par 5.
And it's better to be long on the hole anyway. There's more room, landing room. 152. This is 140. Well, if it's into a cross, it's anywhere between that. If you're a little longer, it's fine. There's plenty of room. There's like 13 past the pin. So, the thing is, you want to just hit it straight at this pin. In this angle. Okay? How far? Yeah, that's fine.
According to Bushnell, 135 yards to the hole location. Electronic measuring devices can be used in collegiate golf, but did you know that the new Bushnell Pro X3 Plus actually gauges the wind when connected to the Bushnell mobile device? Players can't use that, but right now the wind out of the west southwest at 9 miles per hour here at 6. She'll have a pretty quick putt for her birdie. What does Kelly Sue have here, Julia?
A good bit closer here, 107, but this hole does play up about 9 from this part of the fairway. Don't really want to go long here, like you said. Anything long here is an extremely quick putt coming back down the hill. Hole located on a somewhat of a shelf here. Only have about 3 paces over that shelf to work with. She has a wedge in her hand here, though. Can apply some spin on the ball. Pretty poor kick there.
she's going to have a difficult putt as well.
Yeah.
Let's take you over to 7.
First look at the par 4. Paula Martin San Pedro tied with Carolina Canales. And give us an update, Amelia.
San Pedro, she pulled her drive left, and Stanford's head coach Ann Walker and San Pedro discussing how to proceed, and looks like they've decided to take an unplayable. That ball where her ball was buried it was in such a big hole that there was just going to be no way for her to get something out. So they're relying on San Pedro hitting her third shot closer to the green than she would hit her second shot in where the ball was originally.
If the ball's good in here, I got. And if it bounces forward, you don't scoop it out. Okay.
The grass is matted down much more where San Pedro ball has now been placed. And that's why you have a head coach there to help kind of get some guidance to the freshmen on how to proceed, because very easily you get in some thick grass and all of a sudden you're just hacking shots out and you can't even get to the fairway. Whereas now you're expecting to get something close to that green. Canales is in the fairway. So, but with how difficult these greens are, you can't anticipate that someone's just going to get it close.
Amelia, how much would you rely on your coaches during your time at Wake Forest in moments like this?
Especially in pressure situations, I relied on my coaches heavily. I mean, you're looking to them. They're making the decision. And basically, I would turn to Kim Llewellyn or Ryan Potter, and I said, you tell me what to do, and I'll do whatever you say. I mean, it was just complete reliance on them. Karen, I do feel like it's so early in the match. You're spending a little bit too much time on this one. I mean, her opponent, San Pedro's opponent, Canales, is in the middle of the fairway, so they really deliberated this shot a lot.
I think it's actually quite strategic in many ways. I think that, my feeling is that San Pedro has been kind of fighting things a little bit, and I think this is just a way for Coach Walker to kind of get her to slow things down a bit, to kind of regain a little bit of control on her mentality as much as anything else. It doesn't really matter what happens on this hole, I don't think. It's more about getting her back into a rhythm to get her game back on track.
Megan Royal is away, Julia, but neither one of these putts are going to be easy.
No, not at all. I think Megan does have the easier putt of the two, being that she's on the green, and it's somewhat of a more normal look. I guess you could say it is a little bit of a double breaker. Going to be moving right to left initially, and I think at the hole it might want to pull back.
Boy, you had it read perfectly, Julia, and Megan hit it right on that line, but the flag stick kept it out.
You have to wonder if the flag wasn't there, if that would have dropped.
I think that goes right to the bottom.
I do too.
You agree, Julia?
I do. I think it had a little bit of pace. Maybe that's why it hit that flag stick and propelled it out a little bit, but I'm not a big believer in keeping the flag stick in myself.
Back at 7, Canales, her second.
After almost waiting 5 minutes for San Pedro, now Canales can finally execute. That was from 134 yards and really well played. She landed that right on the front of the green and now just shy of hole high.
Patience can be tested when you have to wait 4 or 5 minutes to stay in your routine.
Of course, but that's been a common theme, hasn't it, throughout the course of this championship, has been patience and discipline.
Kelly Sue for birdie, and that is going to come up short.
Yeah, you said that was always going to be difficult.
But if you get too aggressive with it, there's a slope on the other side of the hole that could knock it off the green.
Let's go over to the 5th. Sadie Engelman has this for par to tie the hole and remain 2 down to Zoe Campos. So Campos coming out impressively these first 5 holes. If UCLA, you start looking when you've got someone like Zoe who's won 4 times, Karen, for the Bruins to get the 3 points, you would think you need her to pick one up today.
Absolutely you do. Like she's an important part of that team, and she's been kind of hidden in the back of the lineup through the early matches and hasn't really been needed. But
Sue now for her par at 6.
Really the first time today she's been tested. Made a good putt outside 5 feet on the last, but she knows she has to get this to match the hole. Looking a little outside left here. It should pull back to her right.
Don't know if she misread it or pushed it a little bit. Second time was a charm, but she loses the hole. 1 up now, heading to 7 on a championship Wednesday.
Back at 7, Caroline Canales, 2 putts to win the hole.
A speedy putt for Canales, but with just 2 putts to win, she should be careful on the speed. Try and leave this one short, if anything. That's coming in with some pace.
Well, you called it. Better part of 3.5 feet by the hole.
yeah, that's not going to be given. What it does do is it gives San Pedro an opportunity to keep moving forward and put a good putt in.
Hope you're enjoying coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Golf Championships, and it is presented by Stiefel. What's a good golf course without a dog? Just relaxing, hanging around. All right, back to 7 with Martine San Pedro for bogey.
If San Pedro makes this, even if Canales makes her 3.5 footer for par, San Pedro would still be able to ride off momentum, but not going to go her way.
So the errant tee shot will cost Paula. Canales will win the 7th, go 1 up in the match. Let's go back to 5. Rachel Heck, this for par to tie the hole. She's 3 up through the first 4. She was also 3 up through 4 in her quarterfinal showdown against Anna Foster from Auburn, which she would go on to win 4 and 3. So Heck not afraid to jump out of the gates quickly, but going to give one back right there.
Stanford University 5, UCLA 4. Stanford University is 2 up.
Our initial stay here at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa has been nothing short of spectacular. Kudos to the hardworking staff here, not only on the golf course with Director of Agronomy David Smallwood and Superintendent Jeff Wilson, but all the staff at the hotel. A big thank you for making this just a wonderful setup for the best in women's collegiate golf and the men next week. Our first look at the par 3 8th, playing 93 yards.
The tempo of match play is so interesting. Paula won the first hole and she was walking ahead, and there was a pretty big gap between Paula and Caroline, and then when Caroline won the 5th hole, that momentum flipped, and now Caroline is 1 up and she's been walking ahead and walking at a quicker pace. 94 yards. This is a short par 3, but man, it's been difficult to hold this green. The green is pretty flat, so, and it's been downwind as well. So if you're not coming in with something that's pretty lofted, it's just really hard to hold it. You get a pretty firm bounce initially. This is going to be a sand wedge for Canales.
gets it to stop. Nicely done.
And that's in such a great position too. You've got to try and be a little bit left of this flag. If you go right of that flag, you run the risk of going off the green very quickly.
And Amelia, although we've talked about the firmness of the greens, today's hole here at 8 seems to be fairly accessible as opposed to what we've seen in some of the other days.
I think where the hole location is placed makes it more accessible because players can land it on the left part of the green and have it stop a little more. Ideally, if you're coming in with a full wedge shot that gives you the most spin, and that's an example, you're in between clubs, you want to go with the shorter one because if you don't, you're going to be long and then you just come up a yard short of being perfect.
That's not going to be all that easy down there. Doesn't have a huge amount of green to use. It's going to take all of her short game skills.
Let's go over to 7. Kelly Sue, her second one up in the match.
141, 123 to the front of the green. Should take a big first bounce. Needs to land something short.
Right idea.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You can see how blustery that wind is downwind. You've got to expect it to bounce on.
Keep it here with Royal.
11 yards closer, 130 into this whole location. Like Karen said, pretty straight downwind right now. You'd love to leave something just slightly below this whole location. She got a good look at what Kelly's ball did.
Oh, very good.
And getting better.
Yeah.
What a shot by Megan Royal.
At the par 5 6th, Megan Gane of Stanford, one up, has this birdie putt to win the hole. It's a good putt. Thought it would fall right, did not. Natalie Vo is already in for par, so Gane remains one up as they head to 7. And that was Paula Martin San Pedro's second at the 8th. It's interesting, she had a big lead in her match yesterday afternoon and then stumbled down the stretch, had a couple of lip outs. The match did not finish because Stanford had already clinched a spot in the championship matches, but San Pedro has had leads here in both the quarters and the semis, but no win to show for it.
No, I think she's got to settle down a little bit. Like, she just seems like everything's kind of spiraling a bit out of control. Missing some shots, not hitting her targets.
Well, Amelia, this would be an ability right here to maybe shift some momentum if she can roll in this long par putt.
If San Pedro can make this, regardless of what Canales will do for her birdie putt, it will give San Pedro just a little bit more confidence, settle back into that rhythm. It is very difficult when you get off in the finals of the national championship or you have a bad hole. You're just kicking yourself because it means so much more now. Now it's not you, it's for your team. And so every sort of mistake you feel like you make, you're gonna take it more personally than if it was just yourself out there.
Will it turn left? Not enough. And the other thing, Amelia, I would think too is, right, I mean, you're just handing away holes when your opponent constantly has 2 putts to win the hole.
And on this golf course, if you're giving away shots, it is very difficult to make it up because it's so challenging to get the balls to stop close to the hole. So birdies are hard to come by. But if your opponent's just hitting fairways and greens and making putts and you're off, that's why we've seen a lot of big victories, including Canales, who had a 7-5 victory yesterday.
2 putts to win here at the 8th and go 2 up in this match. Caroline Canales with a birdie at the 8th in the first match out between Stanford and UCLA, and Canales now 2 up.
We drop back to 7. Kelly Sue for birdie.
And she saw exactly what happened on the 8th hole. Stepped off her putt. She knows how big that is. That is huge for momentum, Burko.
She's been up to the challenge all week long, and it shouldn't be a surprise. Came in second at Pac-12, second at regionals. Described as the hardest worker on this team. Extremely polished as a player. Few drop-offs in her game. That's just another piece of the puzzle for the Stanford Cardinal, Karen.
I think if you're a coach, I mean, that's just a dream, just to have that kind of consistency that you can rely on.
Now it all shifts, Julia. Royal needs to answer. Great look high above.
I love putting first, Burko. I love putting that pressure on my opponent when they have a shorter putt in. These putts are made so much more difficult when you know you have to make it.
Was not. I mean, that's just so. That's match play encapsulated in 2 shots right there.
Royal with the better approach.
Yep.
Sue first in, picks up the win, 2 up as they head to 8.
Kelly Sue with the honor after that birdie at the 7th. 2 up in her match. We're going to follow her tee shot with Top Tracer technology, presented by AT&T. Sue ranked 56th in the World Amateur Golf Rankings. Sophomore from Claremont, California. Well done.
It's a fantastic shot.
And we saw from the Top Tracer, compared to the last 2 players, her apex was at 70 feet, so she brought it in higher and softer. Sadie Engelman, 3 down in her match, has 2 putts to win the hole at the par 5 6th. Oh, and it falls in. She used that last down slope, playing it left, and Engelman with a birdie at 6. Now back over to 8, and Megan Royal on the tee.
Yeah, it has to respond here. Short little par 3, 93 yards, and played very difficult this week, though. That's an okay shot there, but really well done by Kelly to get it in closer.
She's going to give Kelly a great read as well.
The LPGA Tour offers an exemption into the Dana Open for the NCAA Women's Individual Golf Championships, and Adela Cernonek of Texas A&M will receive the exemption into the tournament, which will be held at Highland Meadows Golf Club in the Toledo, Ohio area, July 18th through the 21st. Adela winds up winning by 3 shots. Had a 6-shot lead going into the final round, held off Lottie Wood to win her first collegiate tournament.
Back out to the action at 9. First match on the fairway here. Caroline Canales getting ready to go, and 2 up against Paula Martin San Pedro.
I love watching the body language of players during match play, and Caroline has just had beautiful posture, walking with a lot of confidence. This from 137.
Really well done.
It is, and walking with confidence, you know, your opponent can see that too, and it just makes you feel just a little bit more intensity with regards how you have to play your own shots, and that can cause you to create mistakes.
Yeah, it might be time for Paula to hit a good one here, Amelia.
Well, assistant coach Brooke Riley is standing next to her, and Brooke, when she was at Northwestern, they made it to match play a couple of times, so she's had the experience as a player and now able to figure out how to walk with her players and how to talk with them. What a great shot by Paula, that from 130.
Yeah, according to Bushnell, 130 to the hole. She hit it about $125. It's not too bad. Make her way back to 7. Natalie Vo 1 down against Mega Gane. Long birdie putt. Gane also a birdie putt upcoming if needed. Natalie, one of the 3 transfers on this UCLA Bruin roster, fighting for a national title.
Well, and Alicia Holmes, the head coach of UCLA, did a really fantastic job when she looked at that portal to get some transfers, because she went with players that wanted to be in California, that were from California. They were bringing them home, and I think that's worked out incredibly well for her.
And they needed it.
Yeah.
They have 3 returners and 5 newcomers on this year's squad.
Megan Royal is one of those transferring in from Arkansas, from right here in Carlsbad, California. Sophomore sociology major, has a birdie putt at the par 3 8th. And Julia, she should give Kelly Sue a very nice read here.
She will, and it's somewhat roles reversed here. Kelly was first to go on the last hole. Did not look like it was going to be a birdie. Had a longer look while Megan was in close. So now Megan needs to do what Kelly did on the last. Go ahead and knock this in. Put some pressure on Kelly. It really looked like the momentum was going to shift on that last hole, with Megan being in really close for birdie. So she doesn't need to let this one get away from her. Downhill, should move slightly right to left on her.
Good putt.
We could have almost had a reversal of the last hole.
I know.
Now back at 7, Mega Gane to go 2 up. Still trying to figure out matching line and speed. All right, let's jump ahead to that first match. Green at 9 as we watch Paula Martin, San Pedro.
Paula has a great opportunity to make a statement here before they make the turn. She can go ahead and apply pressure on Canales, try and make this putt. When you're about to make the turn, any point in match play, really, the goal is to get back on the tee box, be the first one to tee off, because then you become the pace setter.
Kelly Sue has this for birdie to go 3 up. So makes birdie at 7, and now birdie at the 8th, and a big smile for the sophomore. Back over to the 9th,
where Canales has the chance to extend her lead.
She got a decent look at the speed from Paula. Paula was just a little bit left of her. This is going up the hill, breaking to her right. And Paula 2-0 in match play. She's won both of her matches thus far. And Paula, on the other hand, has not finished. Wasn't able to finish both of her matches. Stanford had already clinched their win.
Par conceded to Canales. Paula doesn't have much remaining, but Caroline wants to see it. Everyone looks at it differently, Karen.
Yeah, I'd be like, right, I'm going to show you. I'm coming on the next hole.
Stanford ahead in 3 matches. UCLA in 2. That first one headed to the back 9.
We got some world-class people on our broadcast team. Julia Johnson, part of that Ole Miss National Championship at Grayhawk in 2021. They took down Oklahoma State 4-1. Julia played such a key role in bringing Ole Miss the national championship. And then just a year ago, Amelia Miliaccio helping Wake Forest take down USC in the championship match at Grayhawk as Wake Forest won the women's team championship. And we are so happy to have both of them working with us here this week as we take you out to 7.
Zoe Campos 2 up against Sadie Engelman, first to go with her birdie effort. We talked about it, Karen. 4 wins this year, but her head coach, Alicia Holmes, says she can do even more than that, that she's even better, that there's still untapped potential in there.
You know, and as a player, if your coach is telling you things like that and believes in you in that way, it's little things like that can really make a difference in a player's future and career.
And she's not afraid to talk about her weaknesses, identify them, work on them to improve, especially in her putting, and by nature a very quiet young lady. But when you win 4 times, I think the rest of the team has no problems trying to follow her lead.
Well, no, and being prepared to do the hard things. That's what separates the great players from just good players. If you're prepared to work on the things that are uncomfortable, that are hard for you, and that's a heads up.
You know, Ingrid Lidblad won 4 times, won the Annika Award, but Zoe Campos, what a performance this year in her junior season in Hawaii. The poker chip from the show, you win in the desert there in Tempe, and then the Vegas Regional co-medalist honors. Karen, you played at the highest level. You played at Florida State. You win 4 times in a year. You're as good as anyone in the country.
No question about it. I mean, she's got to believe that she's all that, because she is.
Now Engelman, opportunity to cut that deficit in half. So par conceded to Sadie. Zoe still work to do as we head to 8.
Natalie Vo has a putt for birdie for UCLA. Mega Gane, one up in her match, also has a putt for birdie. See her aimed well out to the right. Just enough to need a coin. Back over to 7.
Campos, short one for par to remain 2 up. Again, that a big part of the game she's taken to a higher level, realizing it needed to work.
Well, and I think when you're that good from tee to green, it's very easy to fall back on that, but putting is such a huge part of it.
Over at 9, Royal off the fairway.
159 coming out of the rough. Will be hard to control the spin on this ball.
Yeah, I think we've learned quickly, Karen. You're off the fairway here. Your approach shots become so much more challenging.
Yeah, to firm greens, it's almost impossible to get it to stop.
Now Kelly Sue with that 3-up lead.
I like the way she played her driver off the tee here too, Burko. She hugged that right side, leaving her a much shorter club in. Only 131 left to this hole. One's coming back into an elevated green.
When you do take a tee shot down the right side, it's aggressive, because there is a bunker that runs down that side of the hole that you really want to avoid. That's why a lot of players will bail out a bit to the left, but obviously Kelly's having a lot of confidence in her game right now.
Headed out a little right. Should find the green.
That works.
I'll take that.
Mega Gane has a putt for birdie to win the hole. Natalie Vo is not in yet. You see the mark of Vo to the left of the hole there, and Mega will mark hers as well. Stanford up in 3 of the matches. UCLA up 2 in 2 other matches. A national championship will be decided today in Carlsbad, California. At the par 5 10th, first match out, and Paula Martin San Pedro playing her third.
From 95 yards, is headed just right of the flag. Flow lines go to the right.
Fall back to the ninth,
where we pick up the match of Megan Royal and Kelly Sue.
Kelly with a good look here for birdie, about hole high out to the right, and Megan did not hit her best chip, left herself a good bit for par, so really an opening here for Kelly if she can put a good stroke on this. Megan still has some pressure over that par putt.
Karen, we're used to seeing this Stanford team make a run at the national championship, but Ann Walker, their head coach, telling me their best teams are the one that have depth, success by committee. All 5 of these young women can have a moment at any given time.
No question about it. Like, depth is key in women's golf. I mean, you can have 1 or 2 good players, but it doesn't mean that a national championship is within your grasp, but just those 2 players. You need all 5 players in this match play format to be on top form for you.
It's back over at the 10th. Caroline Canales 2 up, playing her third.
I'm surprised she laid up to this far, just 63 yards. It's going to be difficult to spin this one.
Just as you said, Amelia, really couldn't get it to spin.
Now back at 9, Royal for her par.
And you'd think this one really has to go, Burko. You do not want to make the turn out here 4 down. This course only gets more difficult as we head down the home stretch. She got a really good look from Kelly. Knows this is moving right to left. Just about putting a good stroke on it.
Yeah, Kelly Sue's not going to open the door often, so to make the turn, as Julia said, 4 down, you've got to regroup.
I think the biggest thing for her to do, Royal to do, is to just, like I said, just try and chip away.
Long birdie putt here for Caroline Canales at the par 5 10th.
It's a cool scene here in this final round when the green's been pretty far away from the walkway. They've allowed the spectators to come up close to the green so they can see where the hole is. All the fans anxious to see if the ball goes in or not. I think it's awesome to allow the spectators to get up close and personal look.
Canales will have that left for par. Paula Martin San Pedro has a putt for birdie. I think you guys are right. You know, once you get through 10 and 11, it gets really difficult.
Yeah.
And if you're trailing and now you have to push the issue, makes it even harder. There's Michael Thior Bjornsson of the Stanford men's team checking out Paula Martin San Pedro. She hasn't lost her turn.
That was surprising, Karen. I mean, it was just misjudged how uphill it was going to be in the beginning, but haven't seen many putts from her where she's misjudged the speed like that.
No, I think it comes down to the fact she's not. I mean, she's fully 100% invested that Canales is going to make hers, and so she felt like she had to try and make something happen. She went to force the issue a little bit.
So she makes par. Canales has a putt for par to remain 2 up.
After Canales executes her shots, whether it's a putt or a shot off the tee, an iron shot, she finishes quickly. If she makes this one, she'll walk it right in, even if it's a shorty. If she hits a good drive, she picks up the tee quickly. As soon as she sets in, she's ready to go.
Par at the 10th.
Stanford University
the short
5,
par 4 11th.
UCLA 5.
Canales,
UCLA
like she was in the
remains 2 up.
quarters and in the semis, up. Working on the second 9. Coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Golf Championships is presented by AT&T. Omni La Costa Resort and Spa. The North Course, as that first match heads to the 11th.
And we've been waiting for players to push it down there if the opportunity so chooses. And you know, the Stanford men and women's team, they play together in the big match versus Cal. So we saw that support with Michael Thorbjornsen, Carl Phillips out there. It's been a trend, Bob, in the last decade of the men are following up here. They're already on property getting ready for a practice round. Just adds to the enthusiastic environment on a championship Wednesday. And so many of these programs now, I mean, they're bonded together.
Yep.
The men and women, so many things they do together at home.
Had a nice chat with John Fields, the head coach of the University of Texas men's team today. Of course, Texas is the host institution for the 3 years here at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa.
All right, Canales ready to go at 11.
We were wondering if these players would push this hole with driver. This playing 285. There's a fairway bunker on the left, 237 to clear, but no one has taken the bait. I was wondering with the front hole location, if you get it in that greenside bunker, it's a perfect little angle. But 215 to the penalty area on the right. So I think players have been drilled in by their coaches, Karen, to don't put yourself out of position. Just plop along.
Yeah.
Question for all of you. Because San Pedro, she has no real momentum going, but she still is only 2 down. Is it the smart play to not try to push it?
I think it would depend on what she feels with her carry. If she feels she can make the carry over the bunker without the ball going over the back of the green, then I personally would like to see her give it a go. But she doesn't want to go too far in the hole. 3 down is pretty rough.
Go Card.
The men from Stanford rooting on the Cardinal. We saw Carl Phillips, Barclay Brown, seeing if the women can win their 3rd national championship in the history of the program on this Wednesday in Carlsbad.
Back over at the 10th, Megan Royal playing her 2nd shot at the par 5.
Yeah, big drive, just 232 left into this green. Has to get something going with a 3-wood here.
That's going to chase up onto the green. It's going to release to that back right corner of the green with a nice 2nd shot ahead to the 11th.
Canales, her 2nd.
This is a green light hole location. Flags in the front. There's a slope in the back to allow balls to hold.
Thought about coming back.
Rachel Heck in the anchor match on the tee at 8. Top Tracer Technology presented by AT&T as we watch the tee shot of Rachel. She gets it to stop. So she'll have about 4 or 5 feet for birdie. Back to 11.
Martine San Pedro's 2nd.
Went with the short play, trying to use a slope on the right and plays it well. What a great shot from Paula.
Berko, an exciting time here at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, the new home for the women's and men's Division I championships. I know you're going to have a lot to talk about on the podcast coming up.
Yeah, college golf talk going to come your way tomorrow. Brentley and I are going to recap the women, what we saw here this week, and set the stage for the men.
Now, Kelly Sue her third at the 10th.
Just 78 yards. Can't go right. There's a slope that'll pull it away from this whole location.
It's okay. It's on the wrong side of that ridge.
Let's go over to 9. Natalie Vo from UCLA. This for par. 1 down in the match. You can see Megan Kane is in there about 1.5 feet or so for her par. Oh, and that just creases the right edge. So Natalie makes bogey, concedes that short one to Mega Gane. So Mega making the turn, 2 up in that match. That experience means so much for players that have been here before.
Well, and how Mega finished off her match yesterday too was mightily impressive. Just really kind of got to that back 9 and just turned on the burners.
Yeah, won 4 holes all day in those semis, but 3 of them were at 15, 16, and 17.
Yep.
Set to the green at 11. Got a couple of birdie putts in this opening match.
With Canales 2 up and putting first, San Pedro is about 10 feet for birdie, so San Pedro has a good chance to try and get back to just 1 down. Well, Canales can close that door if she can drill this in. That's what I loved about match play. I kind of like to play an inner dialogue with myself. Think about what they're thinking. Okay, you think you're going to get one back? Watch me make this putt. And this one for Canales, putting back down the hill, and it's going to break to her right.
You said something earlier, how she's been feeding off the crowd. Shy and reserved by nature. Her coach from UCLA, Alicia Holmes, saying she needs to hear those outside voices. She's the grinder, but when other people start cheering her on, she takes it to a different level. Par conceded to Canales, so Martin San Pedro will have a chance as we head over to 8.
Rachel Heck has this for birdie to go 4 up through the opening 8. It looked like it bounced a little bit and caught the right edge and did not drop. So back over to 11.
The men from Stanford continue to make the walk in support. See if Paula can make one here. Cut that lead in half.
This is a key putt for Paula. The holes are only going to get difficult as the day goes on. Good putt. Just didn't played too much break.
Well, if you're trying to set the tone early for UCLA, Canales is doing it. Martin San Pedro hasn't won a hole in this match since the opener.
Megan Royal is 4 down in her match at the par 5 10th. Has this for eagle to win the hole.
Moving right to left the first half of this putt uphill, then it'll flatten out as it gets towards the hole. Needs to start applying some pressure.
Tremendous putt there. Not an easy putt judging that speed.
So Kelly Sue is going to have to make her birdie putt now to tie the hole. Although the birdie putt has not been conceded yet.
I've seen her make some longer putts today, Bob. I mean, she dropped a really nice putt on 7 to apply some pressure to Megan. She's rolling the ball really well. Only really made one mistake, a short miss on the par 5. Not her best wedge into here. Has an uphill putt now, putting back up and over that ridge we talked about on the right side of this hole. Just needs to put a good stroke on it. She's playing good golf right now.
So Sue makes par.
Stanford University
Royal
5.
makes birdie.
UCLA 4.
And the
Stanford is
lead
now
for
3 up.
Kelly Sue is now 3. And Karen, in that situation, kind of expected Sue to hit a better wedge in there. to give herself a legitimate look.
Agreed. She was just on the wrong side of that ridge.
Our first look at the par 3 12, playing 189 yards for this championship match.
This is the longest.
Got Amelia.
This is the longest par 3 that the players face, and it's a really interesting green. It's a diagonal green, kind of starting on the left side and working towards the right. This flag is 25 paces on, but there's a mound 15 paces that the players can carry.
While we wait there, let's fall back to the tee at 11.
We've been waiting to see someone pull driver, maybe give it a go. Megan Royal appears to be up to that challenge.
I like this play, Burko. She was aggressive on the last with driver off the tee on 10, 3-wood into the green. She knows she has to make some up. This back nine's difficult. She needs to use her length to her strength here.
She's described as decisive, aggressive, confident, stubborn at times, as her coach told me laughingly, but sees things in black and white, no gray, and this is full go for her.
298 to the front of this green, hanging out to the right.
Thought she might be able to get it down there just a bit more.
I think if she gets that moving a little bit more right to left, I think that'll be fine. It looked like she held onto that just a little bit.
Caroline Canales with the honor at 12.
And a hybrid in hand. She's going to needs to make sure that this lands on the front of the green, or it's pretty much going to go over.
Let's go.
Just as you said, Amelia, she needed to land that about 20 feet short of the flag. Now Paula Martin San Pedro.
This is a 5-iron for Paula. Starting this one out to the right, and it's fading.
She's a little bit out of sync today. Not quite timing.
Let's go back over to 11.
Kelly Sue, less than driver.
This is a smart play for Kelly. A very good ball striker, but not one of the longer hitters out here. Just looking to find the fairway.
And to your earlier point, Karen, when you're 3 up, heading to this difficult stretch coming in, pars are like wins if you're Kelly Sue.
Exactly. You do not need to push it.
Matches making their way to the back nine on this Championship Wednesday in Carlsbad.
Over at the 12th, Paula Martin San Pedro missed the green, now her second. Assistant Brooke Riley there with her as we take you back to 11.
Second for Royal.
Just a short little 44-yard pitch for Megan.
Ooh. Well, an aggressive tee shot. Yeah, sorry, Julie. Aggressive tee shot really playing up well there.
Trying to claw back in this one. Likely to make birdie there.
Canales at the 12th.
Was a really difficult shot. I mean, the ball was nestled right in the middle of that rough, and she hit a pretty good shot from there. You don't want to get something too hot and have it roll to the front of the green.
Pier 1 at the Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, the North Course, a comprehensive renovation completed by Hans Golf Course Design. The North Course will feature 6 sets of tees, play anywhere from 4,500 to 7,500 yards. Additional portions of the completed project are environmental in nature, like transitioning irrigation lines that will continue to use reclaimed water, man-made ponds removed, and the reintroduction of natural barrancas composed of drought-tolerant native species. Hans and his team implemented significant changes with the NCAA's match play format in mind. They made 11 drivable par 4, 16 has that feel of number 12 at Augusta, and it has been met with rave reviews by all the coaches here in the field this week. 2 par putts for match number 1 at the par 3 12th.
This is going to be a putting contest for these players. Canales about just outside of 12 feet for her par, and Paula Martin San Pedro inside of that, around 8 feet outside of the range where it's a 50% make, but you're trying to dial in everything in match play.
So San Pedro is going to have a little window of opportunity there to chip away.
At 11, Kelly Sue.
Really needs to see this one go. Megan in really tight downhill the first half, and a lot of level out at the end.
So par conceded, Royal in close. We'll get back to that in a moment.
Paula Martin San Pedro for par to win the hole. Hasn't won a hole since the first, and she finally does. So she cuts the deficit in half.
UCLA 4.
Heading to 13.
UCLA is 1 up.
We go back to 11, short one for Royal to win her second straight. No problem there. In the last 6 holes between these 2 players, they've each won 3. Royal won the 6th, Sue won 7, 8, 9. Royal now winning 10 and 11.
And by the way, they're winning them with birdies. They're not just winning the hole because someone's fallen apart.
Over at 9, trouble for Kate Bajagas. This her 4th. And with Rachel Heck just watching right over the back of the green, you see her right there, likely to go 4 up at the turn. Said it earlier, Karen, if it gets down to this match, there's a reason why Ann Walker put her 2 senior leaders, and you see the concession in the 4th and 5th match.
Well, and it was it's quite a gutsy play by Ann to put Rachel at the end. I mean, Rachel obviously proven winner, but hasn't played great.
Megan Gane has a par putt to tie here at the 10th and stay 2 up in her match. She won the 9th to go 2 up, and she makes the par there.
Stanford University 5.
So right now Stanford up in 3 of the matches, UCLA up in 2. A national title at stake on this Wednesday from Carlsbad. Back at the women's NCAA Division I championships, Megan Royal has won the last 2 holes, 2 down on the tee at the long par 3 12th.
189, needs to keep applying the pressure. This is headed out to the right, needs a big bounce to hit the green.
Well, better to miss it there than left. Kelly Sue next to play.
A little bit of an opening here after Megan missed right. You're really just trying to find the green on this long par 3. 169 to the front. 189 hole. On a good line here.
That's really good.
Yeah, landed it right at the very front. Just exactly what she needed to do.
So glad we can bring you the Women's Division I NCAA championships, and a lot of people to thank to make this stay at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa. Mark Beddix, the Associate Director of Championships for the NCAA. Brad Hurlbuck, Director of Athletics at FDU. How about Chris Del Conte, the Director of Athletics at the University of Texas? They're the host institution. John Fields, the head coach, president of the College World Golf Championship Foundation. We talked about all the great people here at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa. Managing Director is Craig Martin, and Doug Smallwood, the Director of Agronomy with this restoration done by the Hans Group, and Jeff Wilson, the Superintendent of the North Course. Thank you to all. This is going to be an awesome home for women's and men's collegiate golf championships over the next 3 years. Over at the 10th, Zoe Campos to play her third.
It's going to be quite a slow pitch from here. Can be aggressive with it.
That's really well done. Zoe 2 up in this match.
Well, let's go up to 11. Natalie Vo, 2 down against Mega Gane, getting ready for her second at the short par 4.
I think she was hoping for it to get a little bit more spin off that backstop, but these greens still so firm.
Sadie Engelman has this putt for birdie at the 10th. Back up the hill, and it's way too much pace on it. So both players will have par putts. Let's go back over to the 11th.
We'll watch the second of Mega Gane. We've seen her with those wedges all week, Karen. She can get it just a little bit higher, get it to land a touch softer. As we watch Paula Martin San Pedro at 13.
154 yards, and this is going to land on the other side of the fall off. It is coming a little bit to the right, but she had landed that about 6 more yards to the right. That could have really swung near the hole.
Yeah, that ends up in the back green side bunker for Paula, who's 1 down against Caroline Canales.
Megan Royal playing her second at the par 3 12th.
Got a lot of green to work with here. Can land it about midway.
Good looking
well
chip.
Done there.
Yeah, it's still a little bit of meat left on that bone. So
Kelly Sue will have a birdie putt in this match. 8 of the 11 holes have been won. Only 3 holes have been tied. Should take you back over to Steve Burkowski at 13.
Yeah, Canales getting ready to go, and with her opponent in that back bunker, you would think a smart, prudent shot with the 1-up lead is required.
It's hard to hit a smart shot out of this lie. The last 2 times I've followed Caroline, she's hit driver and ended up in the rough with out of a down slant.
And according to Bushnell, 127 yards to the hole for Caroline.
There's a false front 4 paces on. If she can land that right in the middle of it, that would be the best play. It should use that as a little backstop, try to springboard towards the hole. This is going to land short.
yeah, it's not easy. You have that downslope lie, but the green is up above you, playing to uphill to that green. Just awkward.
Kelly Sue for birdie at the 12th. Julia, she just didn't hit it.
Yeah, she's up and out of that one pretty quick there, Bob.
Now we take you over to the 10th, and Zoe Campos has this putt for birdie to win the hole.
On the 10th hole, Stanford University
Campos
5, UCLA
now 3
4.
up in her match.
UCLA is now 3 up.
Now back at the 12th, Megan Royal has this putt for par to tie the hole.
After gaining 2 back on the last 2 holes, playing some really good golf on this backside, you do not want to give one back here to Kelly. This would be huge for momentum.
Great up and down by Megan Royal. So the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 12th, the 4 holes that have been tied in this match.
Megagane trying to win the 11th. This for birdie to go 3 up. Stanford's just leaving the door open in a couple of these matches.
Yeah, when you have opportunities like that, you really want to just keep applying.
13, Canales 3rd from the bunker.
Ball just slightly on an upslope, so she can loft this one up in the air.
How good is this? A pure athlete, a player that fights for everything and does what it takes to be good. Every coach would love a handful of players like Caroline Canales. Let's keep it right here with Paula Martin San Pedro, also from a bunker, this one from the backside of the green.
And there were a ton of Stanford cheers when Paula won the last hole just to get back to 1 down. Caroline stepped on that tee box and she hit a beautiful drive. This is a difficult bunker shot coming in with a lot of pace, and that was really well judged from Paula.
2 exceptional bunker shots, Karen.
Well, and they both had opportunities to potentially go in. Paula's one just needed a little bit more energy, and it was right on line.
All right, let's go to the tee at 11. Sadie Engelman waited for that green to clear. She's got driver. Gane and Vo did tie the 11th. Campos is already laid up. Let's see how far Sadie can get it down there.
I like the aggressive play. 3 down, looking to make something happen. This looks like it's on a great line. More of a right to left movement, hoping for some run.
Go.
Well done. She did come back from 2 down in a match against Anna Davis from Auburn in the quarterfinals. So she knows that she can come back from being down.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, she had a birdie 18 to get that match to extra holes.
And then the great par save here at 16, the first extra hole to get a point. As we move to that opening match at 13, I think they're trying to figure out which player is away. Paula Martin San Pedro won the first, held on to that lead through the first 4 holes. Caroline took the lead at the 6th and has not relinquished that advantage.
Both of these players as well, they know why they were sent out first, and they were sent out first to get that first point, so they know what their coaches have expected from them, and that's why this match is really tight, because they're both fierce competitors and they want to get that first point on the board for their team.
You liked going out first, didn't you, Amelia?
Every time. It would always throw the coaches off who we were playing against, because usually if you had the honor, you would naturally defer and let your opponent decide who you throw out first, but they would throw me out first regardless, and I think it gave everyone a little bit of a question mark, but I did a pretty good job.
Yeah, pretty successful during your amateur and collegiate days. All right, Canales for par.
Berko, Amelia's being a little modest. She went out and took care of Cindy Coe in match 1 last year, 4-2. Point on the board. Here we go, Wake.
All right, about a 3-footer here for Paula to tie the hole.
There's about 60 people watching this group, and the Stanford crowd's going to be cheering when this one goes in, and it does.
A lot of fight between these two in the opening match. Stanford up in 3 of 5. The Bruins leading in 2. The race to a national title continues on this championship Wednesday. Both vying to win a national title. It would be the 3rd for the Cardinal, the 4th for the Bruins. Stanford leading in 3 of the 5 matches. And we head out to the 11th. Pick up Sadie Engelman, her second after the big tee shot. Finally saw someone get it down there just short of the green, Karen.
And it was good to see it too. You know, finally somebody, you know, willing to take it on that's been down in the match, needing to do something. I think she was a little bit unlucky there with the bounce. Obviously trying to play for it to release more.
If you're going to get it down there, need to take advantage.
Yep. But still left it. I mean, on the positive side, she's below the hole, still in a decent spot.
Let's head over to 13. Kelly Sue getting ready to play.
132 into this hole. Wind coming in and out of the right now. 118 to get it to the front of this green. Working right to left, headed to the left center of the screen.
All right, with the 2-up lead, smart. Megan Royal go win holes with birdies.
Love her angle in here, Burko, from the left side of this fairway. Really opens up. Only 122 in. Trying to fade back to the hole.
Getting better.
All right, Megan Royal isn't going away. Just 2 down against Kelly Sue. We've enjoyed watching Kelly this week play so well from Stanford, but it was a decade ago when we were first introduced to her at the 2014 Drive, Chip and Putt National Final. She won the 7 to 9 age group, had a message then that still resonates today.
I learned that it takes patience to play golf. You lose some, you win some. You can't expect to win them all. And if you practice a lot and you don't try to argue, try to get angry, you just have to make mistakes sometimes. It takes mistakes to learn.
That message from 2014 is something head coach Ann Walker has leaned into, telling her team this day is an earned privilege. This is what your 10-year-old self dreamed of. You've already won. Go out and enjoy the day.
I mean, that's coming from a 9-year-old. How do you top that? I mean, talk about having the right mentality from the youngest of ages. And, I mean, you could only get better by using those words.
And we're starting to see that a decade into Drive, Chip and Putt. Players like Kelly and Megagane now becoming stars in the collegiate game. A wonderful initiative that continues to have traction each and every place we show up. Let's go to 11. Engelman for birdie to win the hole and cut the lead to 2. She's trying. She's trying to be the aggressor and force the issue, and she needs to.
I really like the spirit of that.
Paula Martin San Pedro, 1 down in her match, playing her second into 14.
Paula being on the left side of this fairway just doesn't have a whole lot of space where the flag is cut. She's taking this up the right side, and that's the smart play, because if you go at the flag on this left side, you risk going over the green.
Over at 12, Megagane has this putt to go 3 up in her match at the 189-yard par 3 12th. She has just been so good over the last 2 days. Caroline Canales now has to answer here at 14. Amelia?
Both of these players just playing really solid golf. Lots of good shots. It's just a matter of who can hit the shots closer. Starting up to the right, and it's not drawing.
She didn't like it, but she's going to give Paula Martin San Pedro a really good read.
But like Amelia talked about, as far as that match play component, maybe if she can make that putt, suddenly changes momentum.
All right, let's go back to 13. Kelly Sue 2 up against Royal, and this for birdie. So mark on that one. She'll need to see that as we go back to 12.
Zoe Campos, tee shot at 12. That's really good. Cannot fly it hole high at 12. To 13.
Birdie putt on the way for Royal to win another hole. Boy, that could have gone a long way in this comeback, Karen.
Oh, I mean, that would have been, such a boost for UCLA. Because if you're UCLA, you've got to try and flip one of these matches.
Yeah, Kelly Sue's 2 up over Megan Royal. Mega Gane 3 up, Rachel Heck 4 up.
Yeah.
So by pure math, this is the one most likely to happen for the Bruins.
Exactly.
Campos comfortably ahead of Sadie Engelman, 3 up through 11, and Canales just hanging on to that 1-up advantage. Kelly Sue for her par. Still taken aback by her words of wisdom a decade ago. She makes it, concedes the rest to Royal.
University 4, UCLA 4, Stanford remains 2 up.
The Bruins started this season 18th in the preseason ranking. Not many thought big things could be done. We caught up with some of the team yesterday to get their thoughts at the beginning of this season.
I don't think we really had very many expectations. I feel like at the start of season we kind of just wanted to play our own game. We were a very new team at the start, so it was just playing for fun and enjoying every moment.
We kind of just had no expectations. We just wanted to have fun and test our skills and see where it would go.
My expectations for the team, I didn't really have any. I think I just wanted to trust them and believe in them and believe in myself, and that's just what led us here.
There were limited expectations from their head coach as well, Alicia Holmes, as she told me as we watched this putt at 14 by Canales, saying with 3 returners, 5 newcomers, we had a 3-day retreat to Bond back in September. No one expected them to be here. Everyone expects Stanford to win, and their year-long motto, don't work hard, play hard. And they're going to have to play extremely hard coming down the stretch here today.
They are. They're going to have to get back into it. But that's interesting that they would have a retreat to get to know each other, to bond.
Amelia, Paula Martin San Pedro had to learn a lot off to that Canales putt, because there's a little fall off area just past the hole on this angle, and we saw Canales' ball race off a little bit more than she would have liked.
It is as soon as right after where this ball is cut, the flow lines are going straight down grain off the green. So it's going to come up the tee and break to her left, and then it's going to be quick past the hole. And it was very interesting to hear the UCLA players talk about no expectations. And for the people watching, I really think no expectations, that is code for, if you say that, you play with a little bit more freedom. You're not putting that extra pressure on yourself. It's not actually, we don't have any expectations, literally. It's more of a figurative statement.
Birdie putt to win the hole. Misses on the right, but work left for Canales for her par to 11.
Rachel Heck this for birdie. Her opponent, Kate Bajegas, has a birdie putt as well if needed. Heck up big in this one. 4 up through the first 10, and boy, she continues to cruise right along.
She's found a little something special today.
So now Canales has this putt for par. San Pedro has a short par putt left as well.
Both players have been 100% inside of 5 feet. They've made everything they've looked at in the short range. It's a product of good read, but also great start line and a consistent, solid stroke under this pressure situation.
So Canales with the par remains 1 up. San Pedro has a short par putt. So they tie the hole.
UCLA 4. UCLA remains 1 up.
Sadie Engelman is in with her par at 12, so Zoe Campos has this putt to win the hole.
Just keeping Engelman's dream alive a little bit right there.
Let's go back to 11. Rachel Heck already has made her birdie. Bajegas needs this to tie the hole and remain 4 down, and one of those must makes considering the grand picture of how this leaderboard looks. Stanford leading in 3 of the 5. The Bruins hanging on to the lead in 2. Can they flip one? We will find out when we return to California.
Over at the 14th fairway, Kelly Sue, currently 2 up, getting ready to play her second.
She is from a good part of the fairway, and with her opponent Megan in deep trouble on the left side, she's just looking to hit this on the green safely. Beautiful high shot here.
Gets a great kick off that little knob, and it softened the bounce, and she'll have a great look at birdie. Meanwhile, Megan Royal got some issues here, Julia.
She does. Got an unfortunate bounce off this cart path, and it is just buried over here in this tall stuff. She's got to keep her swing speed up and just try to hack this out, give herself a wedge up and try to make it up and down for par here. If she gets this anywhere close to the green, she's hit a magnificent shot.
Didn't even get it out of the fescue. So Royal 2 down, now playing her 3rd shot at 14. Again, Sue is in tight for birdie.
Bobby, when you're trying to mount a comeback, she had the tee, she had the honors on this tee, she had the ability to find the fairway here, apply the pressure to Kelly. Just a wayward tee shot left, and now setting up a nearly impossible way to even tie this hole here.
Gets her 3rd out to the fairway. She's basically going to have to hold that and hope that Sue doesn't make the birdie putt. Over at 12, Rachel Heck 4 up has a putt for birdie to win the hole. Kate Villegas has a par putt left of about 8 feet. Rachel Heck, as a freshman back in 2021, won the individual title at the NCAA as part of the championship squad the following year, but she has been dealing with injuries over the course of the last year that almost made her stop playing.
Yeah, it's been tough handling the ongoing injuries the past couple of years, but honestly the girls to my left and to my right really helped me get through and make it all worth it. I think Coach and I had a conversation in the winter where she was like, hey, do you just want to call it? Like, do you just want to be done? I was having a lot of doctor appointments, a lot of procedures, just trying to have the chance to play again. And if I were on my own, I probably would have called it, but I had to keep going for these girls.
And that's what collegiate golf is all about, playing for your teammates, as Villegas has this putt for par at 12. And Karen, the other thing about it is, you know, Rachel Heck didn't even play a lot this spring coming back from these injuries, yet she was the medalist out of the regionals, which is pretty awesome, having not touched a club for weeks.
No, and there's something to be said for mind over matter and just willing yourself to overcome, to do a lot more than you feel like you're capable of. And I think that speaks a lot for her and her character and her drive.
And Rachel Heck now a commanding 5-up lead as she heads to 13, trying to get a point on the board for Stanford.
We go to 15 with Canales.
97 yards for Canales. There's just 3 paces of green to work with in line with the flag. This one's headed out to the right.
I was just going to cling on there to the back edge. Another couple of yards and that could have been rolling over.
Now Royals 4th at 14. Really nice shot, but she's going to have that for bogey. And you see Kelly Sue has a short putt for birdie to go 3 up.
Now ahead at 15, Martine San Pedro ready to go.
This has been such an intense match. These players are not talking to each other. They're just trying to hit good shots and come out with the first point of the board for their team. It's pretty good from San Pedro. I don't know if you get it much closer than that.
Now Megan Royal for bogey at 14, and assuming the hole is going to be conceded. Yes, it is. So Kelly Sue had lost 10 and 11. But now has the lead back up to 3 with a wonderful second shot into 14. They'll make their way over to the difficult 15th. Tremendous layout here on the North Course, which has been in its before the renovation. Tournament of Champions was held here. Guys like Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, Johnny Miller, Tom Watson, Lee Trevino, Lanny Watkins, Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, Tom Kite, all won on this property. They had the match play here starting in 1999. Darren Clark, Tiger Woods won it in 03-04. David Toms in 2005, and the Gil Hance redo of this golf course renovation has been met with hearty applause from all the players in the field this week.
And we head out to the green at 15. Canales first to go.
Canales has been up in this match for some time, but she's just 1 up right now. So at any moment, this flow could change. And that's what makes match play so exciting. You just, doesn't matter even really how much up you are in a match. Last year, remember, Wake pretty much had the lead most of the way, but we could all feel the intensity of what was at stake, a national championship. This putt's going to break left early with that slope on the right.
Bruins, young and old, out here supporting their team.
Could be the future.
We saw Kelly Sue from a decade ago at Augusta National. You never know. All right, so Paula Martin San Pedro will have this for birdie, Amelia, to win the hole and tie the match.
This is a tricky putt to read. This flag is cut right on a little spine, and that's where Paula's ball is placed. So it just, when a putt could sort of go both ways, just depending on your angle, it makes it really hard to trust that start line.
That had pace.
That's a little bit aggressive. And she's going to be first to try and make her par putt.
Karen, is that what you see it? Amelia talked about the pressure, the moment getting bigger on the greens, in the hands, where things can just get a bit more tense.
Oh, for sure, because you're trying so hard to make it happen. You want to give the ball a good run, so you give it just that little bit extra pop. And you know, when your hands are shaking because you're nervous, the tendency is to grip it tighter, which really doesn't help.
Paula now for par.
Like it was nothing.
Stanford faithful love it. Not your ordinary freshman. Now the pressure flips right back to Canales to tie the hole.
Canales knows what's at stake. She knows that there are leaderboards out in this golf course, so she's aware that she's one of two of her teammates up in her match. So this is really important for her to close out as trying to get the first point for UCLA. She's also been extremely solid on the short putts.
She continues.
Stanford University 4, UCLA 4. UCLA remains 1 up.
The Bruins, the Cardinal, coming down the stretch on the back nine. A national title up for grabs. Coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Golf Championships continues, and it is presented by AT&T. We head out to 13. Rachel Heck getting ready to go, 5 up in the match.
Second shot plays uphill. That's a really good flowing follow through there, Steve.
Yeah, so many people forget she's won 9 times in college. A winning percentage in the neighborhood of about 36%.
I mean, when you were saying that she had a rib removed.
Yeah, let's button that up. Thoracic outlet syndrome. Rachel had a rib removed in March of 2023. So when we talk about injuries, it's not the normal aches and pains. Let's go to 15, Kelly Sue.
Yeah, great. Good. Get it nice and high.
Boko, this is a unbelievably tough hole location today. Really only about 3 paces to work with over this bunker. She has 120 out. And really with a 3-up lead here, you're just looking to find the green and not make a mistake. Force Megan to hit a spectacular shot.
Hang in there.
Oh, steady. Penalty area. Yep. Wow. Wow. Nope. That was the pull. Getting extra distance.
Big time opening for Royal, and I wonder if she knows where that golf ball ended up.
From the left side of this fairway, really difficult angle into this hole.
Oh, this has got to sit down as well. What's going on?
It's gone.
Yep. Oh.
Hard to fathom.
That was perfect opportunity to just...
Anywhere but there.
Yes.
Megan Gane over at 14 has this birdie putt to win the hole and go 4 up with 4 to play. Par putt not conceded.
Over at 13, Kate Pajagas from the bunker. Amelia's caught up with this match.
Elevated bunker shot, imperative to get this one close based on where the match stands. What nice touch from Pajagas.
Trying to extend it, right? As you always say, get another hole, play another one, have an opportunity.
Because it just keeps giving the rest of your teammates hope as well. But holes are definitely starting to run out, Steve.
Yeah, and as we button up Rachel Heck, the injury, she said last month, I'm going to remain an amateur. Professional golf just isn't in the cards for me. And being away from golf after those injuries, she gained clarity in life that golf doesn't define her. And Amelia, you can relate as much as anyone when so many people expect you to turn pro, but realize your path's going to take you down a different road.
It's been so great to talk to Rachel. We really caught up a lot at the Augusta National Women's Amateur earlier this spring and just talked about why we didn't want to turn professional. And it's so great to see Rachel happy. And I mean, she's doing so many things in her life. She's part of the ROTC program at Stanford and the Air Force. And she just has a lot of passion. She's an incredible artist. Oh, and 3 days after she graduates, she's going to be a maid of honor because her older sister, Abby, is getting married. So she has a lot on her plate that she's excited about. Currently this championship.
Well, that's got a lot of pace from short of the green. That might end off the back part of the green. Just hangs in there, but it has been a treat to watch Rachel through her 4 years at Stanford.
Over at 14, Natalie Vo for par. Gane 3 up, heading to 15.
Issues for both players at 15, Julia.
Both players dropping here went out in similar spots, so getting a rules official to come over and just tell us who will play first. Should be Kelly first to go, and now it's just a up and down game. Who can get it closer and get this up and in for 5?
Let's go back to Rachel Heck on the green to 13.
And Rachel was deliberating. She was just off the green for her third, deliberating whether she use a putter or use a lofted wedge. She went with the putter, I think trying to play conservative, but she is a really good chipper at the golf ball, so just didn't quite match that correctly.
So still a little bit of work remaining for her bogey, but in a great spot, Karen. 5 up with 6 to go.
Exactly, and she's going to be pretty chill. That was just a, little slip there, but she's definitely in full control mode, hitting the ball well.
One aspect of match play that's really important is how you respond when you make a bit of an error. And Rachel, with so much match play experience, not just in college, but outside of college, she's 5-2-1 on the 2 Curtis Cup teams that she played on. She's been to the semifinals twice at a U.S. Women's Amateur, so she knows how to respond. She's not going to let a little 3-putt get to her. And now Vajegas with an important par.
Yeah, she makes it, wins the hole.
Stanford University 5.
And just hanging around.
UCLA 4. Stanford University.
Probably going to need to do a bit more than just hang around to mount that big comeback needed against Rachel Heck. Same as we've been for a few hours. Stanford leading in 3, Bruins up in the other 2. 15, 4 shot for Megan Royal.
And she has to be so perfect here. Burko sloped left and right.
Oh, is this any good? Oh, it's unlucky.
That close to being good.
Yeah.
Over at 14, Sadie Engelman has this putt for par, 4 down, playing the 14th. Zoe Campos has a putt for par as well. Engelman makes the par. But still down 4.
Back to 15, similar spot, similar shot for Kelly Sue.
And you'd rather leave it on the left side here, Burko, give you an uphill putt.
Oh, that was good.
That's one of those situations, Karen, maybe going second, not the worst thing.
No, because you get a chance to see how the green's reacting, how much that slope's going to take out of the ball.
So we'll keep it here at 15. A couple of bogey putts for Megan Royal and Kelly Sue. And if Kelly can win this hole, she'll win the match and put the first point on the board for the Cardinal. Just the quick start for Stanford, Karen, I truly believe set the tone for the last 3 hours.
No question about it. We saw that. That's exactly what UCLA did in their matches as well yesterday. And the front 9 is a much more scoreable 9. You have to take advantage of that 9 because as these holes continue to get harder, it makes it more and more difficult to encroach on somebody's lead.
Big one here for Megan.
Difficult putt, Burko, putting back up that slope. Her ball fell down. Has to judge the speed perfectly here.
Almost did. Let's go back to 14.
So Campos has this putt for par to tie the hole. And she misses it left, so Sadie Engelman now 3 down with 4 to play. Again, Stanford leads in 3 matches, though.
And Kelly Sue, with this bogey putt, would win the hole, win the match, and continue her perfect match play record at the NCAA championship. She would move to 5-0.
After that approach shot in, it did not seem like she had control of this hole. All Megan had to do was hit the green and 2-putt, and now Kelly with the ability to close this match out with a good putt. She's made some big time putts today. This one just slightly uphill.
And she makes another. Impressive showing by the Stanford sophomore. 4-3 victory for Kelly Sue.
I mean, really, just a stunning performance across the board. Cool, calm, and collected. She had to see that slipping away from her when the ball went in the water, and what a gift she got by Megan Royal.
First point for the Cardinal. The race to 3 continues from Carlsbad.
Kelly Sue of Stanford delivering the first point for the Cardinal. She wins her match 4-3 and now 5-0 in match play at the NCAAs over the last 2 years. Over at 14, Kate Villegas playing her 3rd shot from that collection area, and well done there to save par, but 4 down in our match as we send it down to Julia.
Here with Kelly Sue, what a match. You were off to a hot start. What were you telling yourself after 2 up through 2 to just keep that momentum building?
Again, like this entire week, this course, it doesn't give you a lot, so just taking what I could get, and the first 2 I didn't get ahead of myself, and the course is just it played so hard today. The pins, the wind. Megan's such a great competitor, so just staying in the moment and staying present.
Well, great playing today. Go cheer your teammates on now.
Thank you so much.
Rachel Heck has this putt for birdie at 14 to put a second point on the board for Stanford. Just slides a little right, so that hole is tied. 4 up, heading to 15 with 4 to play.
And to the green at 15, where Mega Gane has a 3-up lead. This for birdie. Natalie Vo has a birdie putt upcoming as well. Always tough to finish him off.
It is, because you're so close, and keeping your focus, having just watched your teammate celebrate in front of you.
And as we saw, when it gets on that side of the hole, Karen, it races away. So an opportunity here for Vo. Work to do for both, but advantage Natalie Vo.
No question.
Keep it right here. 2 par putts remaining. Again, Mega Gane 3 up on the green here at 15. Took the lead on that very first hole, has never trailed, and we've referenced it. Other than Paula Martin San Pedro, who won the first hole, every lead by Stanford or UCLA, they have never relinquished. Karen, we've done a lot of these through the last decade, and matches flip. I mean, Natalie Vo has won just a single hole today. That was all the way back at the 4th.
It's very hard on this golf course in particular to make inroads on leads, because it is such a strategic golf course. It is playing so difficult. We heard about how hard these hole locations are.
Gane for par. And not done.
No, and that was a pretty good putt though. Okay.
Now, if the Bruins are going to do anything, Natalie Vo needs to find a way to win this hole and keep winning holes and have some help from her teammates. But Mega Gane hasn't lost her turn.
No. And that's something that I was not really expecting. I kind of figured that she would give it a good run, but this is still a sizable putt.
Yeah, for bogey. It at least forces the hand of Natalie Vo to make.
And it's so important in match play. You can't just give your opponent the hole.
Natalie Vo, the transfer, spent her first 2 years at Colorado. Her coach, Alicia Holmes, telling me this morning the biggest surprise on this team. Had a very indifferent fall, came back after the break, found her way. The game has followed. She has gotten more relaxed, and high pressure moments don't faze her. There's no bigger pressure than right now on this putt. And even though Zoe Campos is in the fairway with the 3-up lead, she sees that. She sees her teammate. Can the Bruins mount a late charge? We'll find out when we come back.
Coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Golf Championships presented by Stiefel. Look down at the par 3 16th here at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa. It has been a difficult hole throughout the course of the week. Let's take you over to 17.
Paula Martin San Pedro for par to extend the match. Oh, that's clutch.
Troy, I mean,
hasn't had her best stuff,
no.
But they're headed to 18.
She's been hanging in there. There was a time when I thought that was going to go deep to Canales.
And at 15, Zoe Campos 3-up in the match, her second. Good, smart shot with her opponent already in the bunker. So Campos a chance to close things out and pick up a point for UCLA.
Par 3 16th. Playing 130 yards. Top Tracer technology presented by AT&T will follow the tee shot of Vo. Currently 2 down in her match with Mega Gane.
Nope.
Retreats back into that bunker. Anything hole high, Karen, is going to kick to the back of the green and into the bunker. And Mega Gane has played this hole as well as anybody this week.
It's a short hole, like you said, Bob, but it is tough. 130 today. Just looking to hit this about 123, 124. Landed on the green.
There's that extra height that Mega Gane is able to get on her shots that's allowing her to get closer to these hole locations than most of these players that we've seen.
Head coach Ann Walker with a big smile. Vo in the bunker. Gane has a look at birdie here in the national championship match. Natalie Vo at 16, 2 down from the front greenside bunker.
Yeah, really good lie here, Bob.
Oh, from a really good lie to a really terrible lie. Looks like that's plugged.
Plugged it in the back bunker. So Mega Gane 2 up has a chance to add another point.
Over at 15, Zoe Campos has this to win the match against Sadie Engelman. Pick up a point for UCLA. What a way to finish for the first team All-America selection a season ago. As talented as any in the women's collegiate game.
So now back at 16. Natalie Vo, from a plugged lie, will play her third shot.
She really just needs a miracle here. She's got to find a way to get it up and out, hope it can hit into that bank, and then just stay on the green. But with a really nice approach shot in by Megan, it really is going to take a miracle here.
I mean, it looks like it's on a downslope as well. Plug lie, downslope. Oh, this is nasty.
Does not get it to the putting surface with her third. For all intents and purposes, she has to knock this in for bogey to have any chance. Down 2, playing 16.
We go to 15. Kate Bajagas, her second.
Head coach Alicia Holmes was with Kate talking through this shot. And if I'm Coach Holmes, I would tell my player, listen, we're not going to be able to get this one close. You're going to have to make a putt. That way, when you're not close to the hole, you don't get disappointed and you know just exactly what you have to do.
Part of the strategy we have seen, Amelia, from the teams all week long. Now Rachel Heck, according to Bushnell, 82 yards to the hole and on the verge of closing things out.
Advantage Heck, because she can just play this out to the right side if she wants. If she feels she has a good number, she can. 82 yards, probably a full 60-degree for Rachel. She can just pretty much play it however she wants, but critical to be on the green.
Four up, 4 to go. You don't even need to win the hole if you're Rachel.
No. It's not going to be an easy putt, but
now over at 16, this is the 4th shot for Natalie Vo. She has to make this basically with Gane in there close for birdie. Gane 2 up in her match. And they are closing in on a national championship. So Mega Gane has 3 putts to put another point on the board. And the match has been conceded. Mega Gane adds a second point for the Stanford Cardinal. 3-2 the win.
Thanks so much.
I got your bag.
University wins. You're in, bro. Where's Rachel at? Dude, she's about to win. Let's go. Okay. Yes.
And they race over to 15 to watch teammate Rachel Heck.
Stanford 1 point away from winning the 2024 national championship. Rachel Heck with that 4-up lead.
And just remember though, Mega Gane from a similar position got that putt got away from her and wound up losing the hole.
Yeah, 2 or 3 feet past the hole, Karen, and that ridge could take it another 10 or 15 feet.
Watching these Stanford players run up to 15 green, it just bringing back some vivid memories from last year when I won with Wake Forest. I mean, the winning feeling, it's so great, not just because of winning this particular match, but all the endless hours you put in to get to this spot. This putt for Rachel going up the hill, hard to judge the speed with this tier.
And she judged it well. So the par is conceded. The scenario is simple. Kate Bajagas needs to make this for birdie to win the hole. If not, the Stanford Cardinal are national champs. What's in this putt, Amelia?
Well, she can be aggressive. Putting back up the hill, it's going to break to her right. It's important when you are going to hit a putt with some more pace to make sure that you're adjusting your line as a result.
This to extend. Not to be. Mission accomplished. The Stanford Cardinal are national champions.
The Stanford Cardinal, the #1 seed in each of the last 4 years, and twice they have delivered a national championship, the third in program history for Ann Walker. What a year, what a run it's been for UCLA. Advancing to the match play championship for the first time.
My God.
Martin Samprado racing over from 18. Doesn't matter that she lost her match 2 up. She's a national champion. They've done it again. The #1 team in the country, the #1 seed in match play, takes down UCLA. The final 3-2 as Stanford wins their 3rd Women's Division I championship.